After COVID postponements torpedoed their last 3 games, the UMass Boston women's basketball team is back in action, looking to win back-to-back contests for the first time this season. Standing in their way are the formidable Eastern Connecticut State Warriors, who sit second in the conference. Live from the Clark Athletic Center in Boston, Massachusetts, I'm Milton Posner, bringing you Beacons basketball on the LEC Network. We have got a doubleheader on the schedule today. Both the men and women of UMass Boston will take on their East Con counterparts. But we begin here with the women. We're going to preview their matchup here against an East Con team that should give them a real challenge. Beacons are finally getting to play a game. It has been 2 weeks since their last contest. That was a 76-62 win in their previous conference game. Strong performances there from Meg Dixon, from Paige Olivier, who we will profile in a little bit, playing her first game in the blue and white in that contest. We're going to show you a little bit of the highlights from their last home game against Eastern Connecticut State. That came in February of 2020 and was an Eastern Connecticut State blowout win, and then we are going to preview this one.
Babe, you make a sound. 2 a.m. love, gotta keep it down. Don't wait around for a signal now. Give me some verb, I ain't talking now. You wanna ride in the 6, you wanna dine in the 6. But when I lean for the kiss, you said I'll probably send you some pics. And I'm like, hell nah, been waiting too long. Hell nah, I want that cruel love. Hell nah, been waiting too long. Hell nah, I want that cruel love. Body on my, losing all my innocence. Yeah, body on my, finding all my innocence. Yeah, body on my, losing all my innocence. Yeah, body on my, finding all my innocence. Yeah, body on my, losing all my innocence. Yeah, body on my, finding all my innocence. Yeah, body on my, losing all my innocence. Yeah, body on my, finding all my innocence. Yeah, on my, on my, on my, on my innocence. On my, on my, on my, on my innocence. On my, on my, on my, on my innocence. On my, on my, on my, on my innocence. Babe, just hit the pedal. If things go wrong, it's just incidental. My bad, never got the memo. But you never have fun while you're in the limo. Yeah, you wanna ride in the 6, you wanna dine in the 6. But when I lean for the kiss, you said I'll probably send you some pics. And I'm like, hell nah, been waiting too long. Hell nah, I want that cruel love. Hell nah, been waiting too long. Hell nah, I want that cruel love. Body on my, losing all my innocence. Yeah, body on my, finding all my innocence. Yeah, body on my, losing all my.
We take a look now at the team stats as UMass Boston coming into this game with a 3-7 overall record. They are 2-2 in LEC play. East Con counters with an almost even 7-8 record, but their conference record, 4-2 in the conference slate, is what should cause the UMass Boston fans a little bit of trepidation here heading into this game. You take a look here at the team statistics. In a lot of respects, they are mostly level. And then you look at the rebounding margin. There is a lot of size and depth on this East Con team. You look at the turnovers margin. Again, security, sure-handedness, the marks here of this Warriors team. The scoring margins here, as good an indicator as any of where these teams are. UMass Boston minus 5.1 per game in the points category. That's good for 7th out of the 9 LEC squads. For Eastern Connecticut State, they are plus 3 1/3. That is good for 3rd place. These numbers have only gone up for both teams, mind you, in conference play. But for UMass Boston, that means closer to the mean. For East Con, that means they have become an increasingly dangerous team since the calendar turned to 2021 in particular. The Warriors, in the last few games, they've won 2 of their last 3. UMass Boston has won 2 of their last 3. Eastern Connecticut, after a 4-game skid, they won a game against WestCon. It snapped the 4-game skid. The 4-game skid came on the other side of a 3-game winning streak. So it's been very up and down for them, but on the whole, the losses coming in some of the non-conference games, meaning they are much better positioned in the LEC than they would seem to be from their overall record. We take a look now at the players to watch. For UMass Boston, it is Paige Olivier playing her 2nd game on the Harbor campus, her 1st game coming on January 8th. The last game that UMass Boston played here before a couple of COVID-related cancellations derailed some of their games and forced them into the postponement category. Against Plymouth State, Olivier, 18 points on 7 of 11 shooting, 4 of 8 from beyond the arc. And UMass Boston fans looking at that, getting visions perhaps of a dynamic 3-point shooting duo between her and already 2-time LEC Player of the Week Meg Dixon, who is leading the conference in 3-point percentage and 3-point makes. Olivier, serving as a good complement, can serve to take defensive attention off of Dixon and enable the 2 of them and Jashari Green, who's won LEC Rookie of the Week a couple times this season, to more artfully and ably impose their offensive skill sets. But the Eastern Connecticut State player to watch is one who the Beacons already know, and not just the Beacon basketball players. It's Anna Berry. 14.7 points per game for her. That is 3rd in the conference. 8.8 rebounds per game is 2nd in the conference. And she is shooting a more efficient tally from the field at 53% and change than any other LEC player on the women's side. 2.3 blocks per game is tops as well. But it doesn't stop there. The 6-foot forward is also a 6-foot middle blocker for the Eastern Connecticut State volleyball team. And despite the success she's had in basketball, 3-time rookie of the week in the conference a few years ago, and likely to be one of the conference's first team nods this season. In volleyball, an AVCA All-American honorable mention along with UMass Boston's Marcel Tiscareño, leading the LEC this past season with 371 kills, 3.9 kills per set, and a hit percentage just a couple of ticks south of 400. She repeated as the LEC Offensive Player of the Year. She won her 3rd straight AVCA All-Region Award. She's been All-Region in a couple of categories. 2nd team. Honorable mention All-Region the season before that. She has led her team in kills and hit percentage before that. She is stellar in both sports. And we're going to get to see her basketball skills here today after she led her team in the game that they played in this gym, the LEC Final, a couple of months ago. Pivot now to the starting lineups. For Eastern Connecticut State, it is going to be Anna Berry alongside Julie Keckler, the 2nd leading scorer on the team, 4th leading scorer in the conference at 14.5 points per game, and the conference's best free throw shooter to boot. Joining them, Kaya Mayo, the freshman guard, Jenna Sarantino, the senior, and another senior in Danielle O'Brien. Now the starting lineup for the Beacons. Let's take a look. It's Meg Dixon, Kat Sullivan, Carrie Ann Farina, Ryla Gonzalez, and Sunny Green. Very similar starting lineup to what we have been seeing here. UMass Boston having just about everybody in the flow of things. We will not see Jashari Green in the starting lineup, but expect her to be playing considerable minutes as well. You can see her out there warming up at the moment. We are going to take a quick break here for the anthem and be right back with the opening tip from the Clark Athletic Center. It's UMass Boston and Eastern Connecticut State in a basketball doubleheader. The men to come at 3 p.m., but first, the women, each trying to build on a win in their previous games. We'll be right back. We are ready to go here at the Clark Athletic Center. The starting fives announced. The officials ready to go. Meg Dixon's going to tip it off here with Anna Berry. And if we can see those two going at each other, they are the tallest players on each of their respective teams. And even though they play a little bit of a different offensive style here, their defense is going to be tested if they're going to have to go at each other for 30 minutes or more. From the start, Sunny Green's going to match up against Berry. Meg Dixon covering Danielle O'Brien. Eastcon wins the tip here. Shot clock down to 17. They look for Berry over the top, doubled in the post. Stripped by Sullivan, and Sullivan comes away with the cookies. Kat Sullivan leading the charge now as the Beacons fill. Dixon, long three-pointer. No good. And O'Brien runs down the rim, the ball off the rim. The kick. Thinking about a shot there was O'Brien. They swing it to Jenna Sarantino. Now to O'Brien coming around a pick. Gets around Sullivan. Bounce pass. Long two-pointer from Kaya Mayo. Falls as an air ball. And Sunny Green chases it down along the end line. Sullivan, as usual, directing traffic. She's got Julie Keckler, second leading scorer for this Warriors team, picking her up. And it's Carrie Ann Farina to get the scoring going. Looking for Berry in the post, fronted by Sunny Green in the early going. First entry pass into her was picked off when the double team came. Kaya Mayo swing, Keckler three-pointer, rims out. And Ryla Gonzalez chases down the board. Beacons stacked on the left side, now spread out. Sullivan surveying as Gonzalez fills to the wing. Now to the opposite wing, it's Farina driving, cut off by Keckler there along the baseline and pops back out. Shot clock down to 10. It's in the hands of Dixon. Swing to Sullivan. Runs around a double screen. Pass to Gonzalez. Shot clock down to 3 here. They got to do something with it. And a foul called. Going for the loose ball. It will go, I believe, against Keckler, who played stellar defense on that play up until the last second. The foul doesn't really need to happen there. Sunny Green now surveying. And they're going to call an offensive foul here away from the ball. An illegal screen whistled against Sullivan of the Beacons. The other way we go, just 2 points through the opening 2 minutes, and they're on the Beacon side of the scoreboard. Eastern Connecticut State misfired on their first 2 shots. Now they get it into Berry. Deep positioning against Sunny Green. Terrific defense by Sunny Green as she holds her ground. Shot clock resets to 20. And it'll be a hand check whistled against, if that's Sullivan, that is her second foul. Indeed, she'll go to the bench. We'll get our first look at 2-time LEC Rookie of the Week, Jashari Green. Showing out in her first season on the team. The Warriors to trigger from the baseline now with a fresh 20 seconds. They've had difficulty getting into their leading scorer, Berry, and now the pass to the second leading scorer, Keckler's picked off. Jashari Green to lead the charge and passes to the official. A little bit too much mustard on the pass there, intended for the cutting Carrie Ann Farina in transition. A little bit of sloppiness from the Beacons in the early going, but they've tightened the defensive screws on the other end. The Warriors have not really gotten a clean look at much of anything. They swing it to Kaya Mayo. O'Brien. Jashari Green runs her off the line. She'll opt for the mid-range instead. No good. A lot of offensive rebounds here for the Warriors, but they have not made good. 5 consecutive misses to open the game for ECSU. Gonzalez now crossover into the middle. Dump off pass to Green. What a move. Ryla Gonzalez playmaking and dishing off for 2. Long 3 for Keckler this time. Short. Another offensive rebound for Jenna Sarantino, and she will draw the foul. Sarantino, that is her 4th rebound. 3 of them of the offensive variety. Ryla Gonzalez picks up a foul. She will head to the bench. You can get our look at Paige Olivier wearing number 20 in white. As Sarantino heads to the charity stripe and knocks down the first. So after 3.5 minutes, EastCon is on the board. Their first field goal will still elude them. Beacons 2 of 3 from the field. Each team with a couple of turnovers in the early going as Sarantino knocks down the second. A little bit of a press here, a soft press, and UMass Boston traverses the timeline. Dixon looking for Farina streaking across the lane. They had a 2-on-1, but for the second time in 2 minutes, the Beacons put a little bit too much sauce on the pass. First-year coach Heather Jacobs going up against 28th-year coach Denise Byerly, of the Warriors, sitting on 498 career wins right now. Jashari Green. Here's the grab and go. Crossover finds Dixon. She's run off the line to the elbow, to the paint. Blocked as she goes to the ground. The ball ruled, not sure if they're saying off Dixon or off Farina, but either way, it's going to the Warriors. Anna Berry, 6 foot tall, long limbs, holding her ground against the driving Dixon. And we have to imagine it's field goal time for the Warriors here. They still don't have one 4.5 minutes into the game. They've missed their first 7. They get it in close. Sarantino stymied near the rim. Now they get it into Berry. And that is what Anna Berry can do for you, the smooth move to the left-hand banker. And this game is even at 4, as on their 8th try, the Warriors finally get a field goal. In transition now, Berry. Picked off there by Sunny Green. So another steal for the Beacons. Pass to a cutting Jashari Green is broken up. The Beacons will trigger from the baseline here when we come back. First time out of the game, and a low-scoring affair it is in the early going. We will be right back with more Beacons basketball. Sparsely populated scoring affair in the early going. Vienna Monastim says no longer. And 1. And for Vienna Monastim, a player that a lot of the teammates and the coach had high hopes for in the beginning of the season, missed some time with an injury. Still working her way back into the flow of things as Olivier tries and fails to chase down the rebound there. It's easy to forget in a season where players will inevitably sideline and teams will inevitably be stymied by COVID postponements, COVID cancellations. It's easy to forget that there are still players working their way back from injuries, large and small. And that if you're trying to work your way back from an injury, it doesn't help to get one game where you play maybe a little bit tentatively, and then your next 3 games get canceled. The whole team's out of commission for a couple weeks because other teams have tested positive. It's very difficult to get back into a rhythm. So the athletes who can do it right away can really set themselves apart here. Flip shot up and snatching the rebound is Paige Olivier. 1 of 10 to start for Eastern Connecticut State. Kick out, Jashari Green. Oh, big screen from Dixon to Springer loose for 2. Meg Dixon, a brick wall at the elbow, and Jashari Green knows how to move downhill. 8-4 Beacons with 4 minutes to play in the opening period. Driving is Keckler, kicking to Mayo. To the outside, it's Danielle O'Brien with a driving kick. Keckler tries another 3. That one goes down. First three-pointer of the game for either team, and it's Julie. You doing okay?
Yeah,
Appreciate the patience with the technical issues, everybody. We had to switch wireless streams. So going to bring you up to date a little bit. After a quarter where the sloppiness, the turnovers continued, the offensive rebounding continued, Beacon's not doing particularly well in either respect. They closed on a strong note with a buzzer-beating three-pointer from Ryla Gonzalez. 13-9 is the score as we begin the second here. Paige Olivier, long three-point trigger. That one got tipped. They've got Anna Berry in front. Keckler tries to find her, catches in stride. Anna Berry, smooth and capable. Middle blocker for the volleyball team. Center here for the basketball team is UMass Boston with a press break. Textbook. And Heather Jacobs likes to see it on the bench. The first time UMass Boston has earned a clean layup out of the full court press break. That's what you need to do if you want the Warriors to stop running it, to stop using the size and the length to bother you 75 feet from the rim. Martha Chapman trying to drive around Monestein. Kicks out, Sarantino driving right to the bucket and draws the foul. Paige Olivier, who struggled with foul trouble like a few of the other Beacons in the prior game, picks up the personal. UMass Boston 4 fouls, same as EastCon, in the opening frame, as Jenna Sarantino steps to the line for the second time. She's 3 for 3 so far today, 70% from the charity stripe on the season. 5'8", solid height there for a guard. Misses her first, and Martha Chapman runs down the offensive rebound. Sarantino on the drive again, and this time it's going to be a traveling violation. But that's a lot of offensive rebounds here. The rebounding margin in general, 11-9 in favor of the Warriors. Not too bad if you're the Beacons. The offensive rebounding margin is 7-1 in the Warriors' favor. A big part of the reason that they have taken 18 shots to the Beacons' 12. And a big reason why they're still very much in it despite shooting just 22% from the floor. Out of bounds call going to the Beacons here would have been a tie-up perhaps. But Kaya Mayo's back heel on the baseline, necessitating the out-of-bounds call. 4 seconds for the Beacons to work with here. Gonzalez to trigger. Into Monesteem, it's deflected. Another second burned off the clock here. The Beacons need a bailout. To Sunny Green. To Farina. Blocked. And a terrific defensive stand again and again from Eastern Connecticut State. The Warriors can put the offense together even a little bit here. They will have the lead. And they'll have it by a decent margin. But the turnover there. Gonzalez jumped the passing lane. Stops on a dime. Up and in. Ryla Gonzalez all over the floor. And the Beacons continue to create good shots near the rim. And a Barry face-up now. Sarantino inside, blocked by Olivier. Monesteem to run the break. Out to Farina, handoff. Olivier, 3 in transition. No good there. Wide right by a healthy margin. 7.5 minutes to go in the second. Beacons up by 5 here. Sarantino in the far corner, guarded by Sunny Green, going to swing up top. Keckler will reverse. Beacons keeping them out of the paint here. Keckler. Olivier jumps out to her. 6 seconds to go. Sarantino's going to fire for 3. What a bounce there. Second three-pointer of the day for the Warriors. It's Keckler. 2 of 5 from downtown now. She's got 8 points to lead her squad. Ryla Gonzalez is 5 on the Beacon side. Will do the same for them. Another turnover there. Ball stripped away from Vienna Monesteem. In transition, Sarantino, shovel pass, flip, Kaya Mayo. Ball looked like she didn't have the best grip on the ball when she shot it, but the rebound comes to her. And the Warriors, again and again, having trouble making good on those second chances. They're earning them through hustle. They're gifted them through lucky bounces. A 9-1 offensive rebounding advantage. And yet they are still shooting just 24% from the field. In transition now, Keckler. And that's a travel. Didn't time the pickup the way she seemed to want to. And another traveling violation here for the Warriors, who seem to be desperately trying to match the Beacons' propensity for turnovers. The Beacons have slowed down a little bit in the turnover category, not much. They're up to 11 giveaways on the day. For EastCon, that's number 8. Third on Keckler. Anna Berry's contributed 3 as well. On the UMass Boston side, Dixon, Green, and Green. That would be Sunny and Jashari Green both, no relation. Each with multiple turnovers. Green now looking to put her defender in the blender. Pass through the hands of Dixon. Chased down by Sarantino. She's got Barry with her. Beautiful bounce pass. Pump fake. Up. No good. Barry gets her own rebound. Gets her own rebound again. And a jump ball up top. Multiple offensive rebounds for the Warriors. The narrative emerging could not be clearer. It's offensive rebounding that is keeping this EastCon team in the game. Consider it this way as the stat sheet updates to reflect what we just saw. 24 shot attempts for EastCon compared to 16 for UMass Boston. And yet UMass Boston has made 3 more field goals. UMass Boston shooting 50% from the field. You take out the 1 for 7 from 3 where they have not been strong, you have a 7 for 9 inside the arc for the Beacons. Look over to the EastCon side and you can see 21% shooting, just 5 of 24 on the day. 3 of the 15 points they earned at the charity stripe. And the reason you can have that is because there are 2 players, Anna Berry and Jenna Sarantino, who have more offensive rebounds than the Beacons. Any Beacon has rebounds of any kind. Part of this you expect. There is height, there is length on the East Con side that UMass Boston doesn't quite have among their regular rotation. But an offensive rebounding margin of 10-1 is not sustainable. At some point, East Con is going to start hitting more than 21% of their shots. And when that happens, UMass Boston will no longer be able to afford giving them so many second chances. The second chance points margin, unbelievably, is just 4-2, despite an offensive rebounding gulf bigger than the Gulf of Mexico. Danielle O'Brien now swings. Sarantino, Kaya Mayo in the corner, guarded by Olivier. They've got 9 seconds to shoot after the timeout. Keckler with 5. Keckler with 3 to Danielle O'Brien. Does she know the clock? She does with a runner. Beautiful move from Danielle O'Brien. She gets on the board with a beauty and ties the game at 17 as we come up on the halfway point of the second period. Monesteem, Sunny Green. Oh, what a cut! And UMass Boston has been timing the cuts beautifully at times. They've earned themselves some layups, hence 8 of 10 from 2-point range for head coach Heather Jacobs' squad. UMass Boston retaking the lead here. Anna Berry working against Sunny Green with a straight drive to the basket and reties the game. At this level in particular, but at any level of collegiate competition, to have a 6-footer with that sort of agility. Oh, and they walk away from Monesteem, who blows the bunny. Anna Berry's not blowing that one. East Con back in front. And a 4-point swing there as a missed UMass Boston layup leads to the transition opportunity for East Con. The Warriors happy to run on you if you let them. Olivier thought about a 3, instead's going to drive into the middle. Kicks, Sunny Green for 3. Well long. Berry chases down the board. Handoff Keckler, surveying. Had Sarantino up ahead, instead goes for Danielle O'Brien, who gives the handoff back to her. East Con looking assertive, quick, with a pep in their step on offense. They've made their last couple of buckets, and a deflection there will take it out of bounds. Jashari Green back in for Vienna Monesteem, trying to augment the Beacons' attack. One name that we have not called as much as we usually would, Meg Dixon, who has missed her first 3 shots and has contributed 3 turnovers instead to the Beacons' effort. O'Brien wide open, and that's a long 2 straight down the hatch. The Beacons are going to need more contributions, especially from Dixon. They've had Ryla Gonzalez, both greens. Vienna Monesteem contributing a couple of made shots from in close. But Meg Dixon, second in the conference in scoring, top 5 in rebounding as well, will need to make her mark on this game at some point. Picks up her dribble there, 5 seconds to shoot. Sunny Green picks up her dribble. Olivier, 2 seconds to shoot, flings up a 3. That won't draw iron. And UMass Boston looking a little bit wayward on offense here. They've gotten a couple of transition layups. They've gotten a great couple of layups on some very well-executed half-court sets. But they've also had some where the shot clock has become a 6th defender. East Con there, and the rebound falls to Sarantino. Foul going to go against Martha Chapman of the Warriors. For the Beacons, it's been a rocky second quarter, just 6 points for them. They need to get the offense kick-started here, clamp down on those turnovers. Dixon fires, short. Jashari Green with a rebound. Air ball from in close, taps it up, but Berry's there to recover. Keckler, O'Brien, Sarantino in the corner. And the Beacons scramble back to their assignments. Over the top to Berry. Good catch. She's doubled. Passes out. They go back to Berry. Not the right pass there, and a jump ball will send it back toward the Beacons. They had the swing open on the perimeter. The instinct, and an understandable one, is to feed the beast down low, is to go to your leading scorer, Anna Berry. Especially when you may not have a lot of faith in the three-point shot right now. But the Beacons had the pass covered. Inside of 2 minutes now. UMass Boston's missed their last 3 shots, make it their last 4 shots, as O'Brien corrals the carom on a missed three-pointer. Pinch double at the hash mark. And now they look for Berry. Instead, they reverse it. Beacon still doing a decent job of ball denial. Berry has not had the post touches that she would like in big stretches of this game, but another offensive rebound and a foul called on Sunny Green. Foul number 2 for her, second of the quarter for the Beacons. For UMass Boston, the shot chart looking increasingly unfriendly. They have not scored in 3.5 minutes. EastCon can't say the same. Julie Keckler gets one to go. Just 3 field goals in the quarter for UMass Boston. Bishari Green. Monasteem, great cut. And after 4 minutes, the Beacons snap the skid. Their off-ball movement, the cuts, the fills have been excellent. The passes have often found them. It's been everything else that has plagued the Beacons' offense here in the second quarter. The shooting from the outside, the turnovers to one extent or another. They're playing solid defense here on this possession until Kaya Mayo slips past everyone. Monasteem corrals the miss. In transition, Farina. She's got Green, Monasteem, Bacon, Dixon, and an offensive foul there. Dixon and Paige Olivier was the end of that sentence. EastCon has got Anna Berry. As there's a substitution now, they've got Anna Berry, Cara McGettigan inbounding here. She will play her first minutes. Julie Keckler, Danielle O'Brien, and Jenna Sarantino. Shot clock off here. EastCon can play for the last shot. Keckler setting it up. Berry, left elbow. Handoff, Keckler. Foot on the line, rims out. Dixon touched it last. And the Warriors are going to have 2.7 seconds to pad a 4-point lead. Ryla Gonzalez enters for the last defensive possession of the half. Lob, they go to Berry. She makes the catch. And a foul called right at the buzzer. It's going to be 2 shots to close out the period. It's Anna Berry's length overcoming a lot, including most of the Beacons on the floor. Everyone save for Berry is going to sub out here, or walk off the court rather, as Berry, who's shooting 77% from the line on the season, makes the first. So it'll be a 2-possession lead for EastCon at halftime, as the Warriors lead the Beacons 26-21 at the intermission. We're going to take a quick break and be right back with some updates and analysis from the Clark Athletic Center. Stick around. Good. To keep him close. Dixon. Farina driving left. Try again. A statistically strange first half it was. So you got to look at the last game there. That was a UMass Boston game against PSU, Plymouth State, that is. The game that they won by 14 points. The stat profile in this game decidedly weirder. As you got to look here, the offensive rebounding numbers are the sort of thing you see in games between, I don't know, let's say WNBA teams and Pee Wee teams. The turnover is not great in UMass Boston's eyes either, but the 13-2 offensive rebounding margin has contributed to a 34-24 shot attempts margin that has really wreaked havoc for UMass Boston. EastCon started off shooting in the low 20s when the shooting percentage goes to the high 20s, and when they start getting some attempts from the free throw line, they're 4 of 6 there. UMass Boston hasn't made one. It starts to take its toll. And a 4-point UMass Boston lead at the quarter break is now a 5-point UMass Boston deficit at the halftime break. I'm going to take a quick look at the out-of-town scoreboard in the LEC. Not a ton of action going on here today apart from this one. As we take a look, I'm going to load up the scoreboard here. WestCon and Plymouth State were postponed. And so you've got Keene State losing to Southern Maine at the half. Dartmouth and WestCon. That game got put off. Dartmouth and WestCon is the game that got subbed in for WestCon and Plymouth State. That one will start in a few minutes. Later on, you'll see Rhode Island at Castleton. Going to now take a look at the men's basketball highlights against Southern Maine. This is from the past Wednesday. We will see the men's basketball team a little bit later on today, and a bit of a preview as to what you can expect from them. Take a look around Beaconville right now. We are going to have an EastCon doubleheader here as men's basketball takes on the Warriors at 3 p.m. Women's hockey and men's hockey playing their version of a home-and-home with Southern Maine. The indoor track and field team is going to be at BU next Friday. We are going to step aside briefly here as the teams trickle back out onto the court. We are going to see you in just a few minutes with the second half of the UMass Boston women versus EastCon. It was a tricky first half for UMass Boston. They led for a little while as the defense plagued EastCon and forced them into some difficult shots. But when the shots started falling ever so slightly more often, the offensive rebounding dominance and the turnover battle victory for EastCon put them on top by 5 at the half. Anna Berry with a lefty hook here tried to snatch her own rebound. Kat Sullivan, who missed a big chunk of that that first half. She turns it over there. She picked up a couple of quick fouls and sat for a large chunk of the half. We'll see if we will see more minutes out of her. Jenna Sarantino to Kaya Mayo off the curl. Keckler now. Carrie Ann Farina guarding her. They go into Barry and Sunny Green fronting her. Picks off the pass. The Beacons starting the second half the same way they started off the first, by picking off the entry to Anna Berry they can expect. Anna Berry now guarding Meg Dixon out top. Dixon looking for the handoff. She's scoreless in the first half. First time all season. Kat Sullivan driving baseline, body contact on the floor. Ball out of bounds here. Foul assessed to Julie Keckler. That is going to be her second personal of the game. So nobody in foul trouble yet on either side. Sunny Green, 3, little too much juice on it. And it'll go to the Warriors. UMass Boston, after a 13-point first quarter, just 8 points in the second. Offensive utility on par with what the Warriors experienced in the first quarter. They had just 9 in that period. Kick, beautiful ball movement. O'Brien, 3, no. Offensive rebound again and a blown layup. So the offensive rebounding, or from the Beacon standpoint, the defensive rebounding woes continue. Second chance after second chance here, and yet the margin only at 9-2. The Beacons can count themselves lucky that it isn't a runaway train in that category. Kat Sullivan has the ball poked loose. And the normally sure-handed Sullivan's having some trouble holding onto the ball here. 3 turnovers in just 4 minutes of play. And no, excuse me, they're whistling a foul on that play. It is not a turnover. It's going to be assessed a reach foul on the floor. Farina driving left, cut off, spins into the middle. No good on the shot, gets her own rebound. And 2 chances is all she'll get. Julie Keckler now, surveying, crossing over in transition, driving. Tough layup, no good, drips off the rim. I'm going to call a clearing out foul, should be assessed to Barry. It is indeed, that is her second personal, second team foul of the quarter. UMass Boston has yet to commit one. Gonzalez, driving and putting back her own miss. Stuffed on the first try, but she stayed with it, and UMass Boston here trying to close the second chance points deficit. Barry now guarded by Green. Tough shot and too strong. Farina losing the handle in transition. And a turnover for the Beacons in transition. 16 giveaways. The season high 26 looks very reachable here, and it's not something they want to reach. Barry into a slow back down there to Keckler. Back to Barry. Now she'll face up. Driving is O'Brien. Fouled on the drive. Kat Sullivan with another personal, and a decision here for Heather Jacobs. Third foul for Sullivan here. She has played just 5 minutes. She is a defensive hound. She's all over the place. She is a ball of energy every time she hits the floor. How does she play now? Her coach trusting her to remain in with 3 fouls and still 16 minutes and change of game time left. Picks up the dribble, tries to find Green. It's tipped. Jashari Green recovers. And UMass Boston's going to get another chance here as Jenna Sarantino can't handle the rebound. EastCon has not scored in the second half so far. UMass Boston has just 1 point, or 1 bucket rather. Martha Chapman in for Kaya Mayo. Sunny Green, foul line jumper, good. Quick hit from the baseline out of bounds play. And UMass Boston with a couple of buckets here in the third quarter to trim the lead to 1. Keckler finds Barry, doubled on the block. Trapped by Sullivan. And a foul here. Who's it going against? It's Kat Sullivan, and that is 4 on Sullivan. She stayed out with 3 fouls in the danger zone, and the gamble does not pay off. 4 fouls for the point guard. Just 6 minutes of play. And a very frustrated Kat Sullivan heads back to the bench. Oh, Dixon with a great blindside poke away, and UMass Boston takes the cookies. Jashari Green, Ryla Gonzalez, Sunny Green, Carrie-Ann Farina, Meg Dixon out there for the Beacons, Julie Keckler, Anna Berry, Danielle O'Brien, Martha Chapman, and Jenna Sarantino for the Warriors. Still leading by 1. Not anymore. After 20 minutes of play, Meg Dixon is on the board. And it is just a layup, but can that get her going? Timeout called here. Denise Byerly wants to talk it over. UMass Boston, 6 unanswered points in the first half of the third quarter, and they have retaken the lead. We'll be right back. What will EastCon run out of the timeout? 12 seconds on the shot clock. UMass Boston has covered the cutters well. It's Keckler around the screen, trapped on the baseline. Sunny Green holds her ground. Farina guarding Barry. Barry's got the height advantage, and an easy offensive rebound falls to Jenna Sarantino. 8th point for Sarantino, 5th rebound. She's got as many offensive rebounds in this game as the entire Beacons squad put together. And EastCon regains the lead. Dixon, 3, rims out. 1 for 6 on the game is the Beacons' leading scorer. She has not been looking for her own shot to the extent that she usually does. Shot clock becoming an issue now. 5 seconds. Farina drives, shut off. Pass out. Sunny Green fires a 3. Air ball. Rushed possession there for UMass Boston in the end. An immediate timeout. We're going to keep it here and analyze some of the stats that we've got here. Anna Berry leading the way for the Warriors. She's got 9 points on 4 of 11 shooting. it might seem to be somewhat inefficient shooting until you realize just how many of those are shot, offensive rebound, shot, score. 8 rebounds to her name as well. She's got a couple of blocks, as does Kaya Mayo. For UMass Boston, the standouts on the stat sheet: Ryla Gonzalez, 7 points on 3 of 4 shooting. She has a 3-pointer to her name, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, no fouls or turnovers. She's done it in only 13 minutes of action. Sunny Green hasn't done too badly either. 6 points, 4 rebounds, 3 steals to her name. But the star performers from the last win against Plymouth State on January 8th have not shown up here in volume. Meg Dixon, just 2 points on 1 of 6 shooting. Paige Olivier, scoreless on 4 missed shots, all of them threes. Only a few rebounds to their names. Paige Olivier's got a couple blocks that she has chipped in, but the Beacon's shooting percentage has been steadily falling as they have gotten fewer and fewer of those easy layups that eased the offensive struggles and the offensive rebounding deficiency they found themselves in the first half. They're going to get into the full court press now. Martha Chapman right up the gut, and a double dribble call. Might have been more accurately a carry, but either way, Beacon's going the other way. Chapman had a path there, but in her haste, commits the violation. Steal here for the Warriors and a chance to run. O'Brien, Barry down the middle. No good on the layup. She runs the floor so well, particularly for a player of her height. But no dice for Anna Barry on that one. Farina looking for someone. Puts the ball on the floor now. Finds Sunny Green. There's a lot of stagnant players off the ball here. Dixon finally cuts toward it. And a tie-up. Going to send things back to EastCon. At this point, the Beacons need for Paige Olivier, or more realistically, Meg Dixon, to start turning on the fire hose. O'Brien, pass broken up, but the Warriors recover. 14 to shoot. Pass nearly picked off there. Chases the receiver out toward the hash mark. And Dixon taps it out of bounds. 7 seconds to shoot for the Warriors. The teams with a combined 8 points in the first 6.5 minutes of the third quarter. Sarantino to trigger over the top to Barry. Just does receive it over Dixon, and she scores. Anna Barry, the first player on either team in double figures, and continues the streak of strong play that she began in the Clark Athletic Center as a volleyball player in November. Doing everything she could to aid her team in the battle against UMass Boston volleyball, and ultimately failing as UMass Boston took the championship game in 5 sets. Missed shot there. UMass Boston will get another try. Ball just barely avoided hitting the rim, so the ref's determined. But they're conferring now. It appeared as though it may have. And no, they're going to keep the shot clock at 7 instead of resetting it to 20. Farina on the inbounds. Eric Gonzalez coming off a screen. No separation. Dixon, sidestep. Long two-pointer. No good. Dixon still as cold as the temperature outside the building. She's just 1 of 7 and has not connected on a three-pointer. Dixon taps it loose over by the EastCon bench. Nearly got a piece of Denise Byerly, the head coach for EastCon. Byerly's got 498 career wins here. Looking to crack 500 before the week is out. Sarantino and Sunny Green can't believe the call. Not entirely sure about that one. She did seem to be maintaining a vertical position. But it will be her third personal nevertheless. And a pair of shots for Jenna Sarantino. 70% and change on the season. 3 of 4 from the charity stripe so far today. And the first one splashes through. 2-possession lead for the Warriors. Their offense has not been strong by pretty much any measure. But the Beacons' offense, particularly recently, has been anemic. As they're risking 2 consecutive quarters of single-digit scoring here. Vienna Monastim to Farina now. 2 minutes 20 to go. 31-27 in the Warriors' favor. Oh, and losing the ball is Farina. It's trapped there underneath her leg. It's a jump ball that will send it to the Beacons. Pass picked off. O'Brien. Farina trying to chase her down. Up and in. 6-point lead. Largest of the game for EastCon. Dixon trying to drive around Barry. Shut off nicely. Dump off pass. Olivier. And a travel. Paige Olivier shuffling the feet on the block. And the Dixon drive and dump off pass goes to waste. This is the advantage of having Anna Barry. The height, the length on a tall scoring guard like Dixon. But with the mobility to shut off the driving lanes. Question is, can UMass Boston take advantage with Barry guarding Dixon on the perimeter and thus pulled out of the paint? Green on the back cut. Tries to field the pass. Got tied up with Chapman. That'll be a foul on the Warrior. Another foul for them. That's the third personal of the period. So it's ball out of bounds here with 1:18 to go. Chapman cedes her place to Kaya Mayo, who will guard the inbound. Oh, and a quick trigger play to Jashari Green, UMass Boston. As EastCon fell asleep on the draw. Jenna Sarantino looking for the angle around Dixon. Dixon tried to slap from behind. Sarantino didn't realize she had a layup. And a good thing, too, as it turns out. Julie Keckler from downtown, her second three-pointer of the day. And a 9-point lead now for ECSU. UMass Boston badly needing to make up some ground going into the fourth quarter. Carrie-Ann Farina to answer. No good. UMass Boston 1 of 14 from beyond the arc. About a 5-second difference between the shot clock and game clock. As Julie Keckler burns as much as she can. 12 seconds now, they start to go. Guarded by Monastim. Kick. Sarantino just did keep the foot down. Dump off pass. Barry, loose ball. Olivier retrieves jump ball. EastCon ball. The only question then is, where's the shot clock going to be? They have it at 1, which would leave only enough time for a catch and shoot. It's going to be from underneath the basket. And let's keep an eye on Anna Barry, the big body in the middle, to see if she would be the natural choice. The 5'9" Vienna Monastim will guard her. Quick shovel, no good, and it's an air ball, so the shot clock stops. Rather, the game clock stops, giving UMass Boston a chance to inbound here. A little bit advantageous. Usually that shot clock expiring when the defensive team has caught the ball just prevents them from breaking out. Paige Olivier now. 2 seconds. 1. She's not going to get a shot off. Was not aware of the clock. And UMass Boston scored 8 points in the second. They've scored 8 points in the third as well. and they go into the final quarter with their biggest deficit of the day, 38-29. We'll be right back with the final quarter from Clark. It has been a difficult game in a lot of ways for UMass Boston. At first it was the offensive rebounding, then it was the turnovers, and maybe it still is the turnovers here. Jenna Sarantino picks one off to begin the quarter. And UMass Boston's going to have to make up at least 9 points here or become the latest notch in EastCon's belt as they try to march to the top of the conference. They're in second place right now. Anna Berry, beautiful move there to the baby hook. Team high, game high, 13 points for Anna Berry. And a double-digit lead here. UMass Boston's got to find some offense and find it quickly. Foul there on Sarantino. That is her first personal, first of the quarter. Getting into the bonus early in the quarter, earning some trips to the foul line and making the Warriors play tentatively would not be the worst thing for UMass Boston right now. They have tried just one free throw to the Warriors 8. Farina, 7 seconds to shoot, around the screen from Monasteem. She's got Berry on her now driving. Foul line jumper, no good. Berry with another rebound. She's one shy of a double-double here. Kaya Mayo. Jashari Green jumps the passing lane, but it goes right through the mittens. Kaya Mayo now, 14 to shoot, into Sarantino, doubled there. Olivier and Monasteem. Sarantino stepping back a little bit as she shot that, did not have the legs behind it, and it falls short. Oh, nice catch there from Gonzalez. Hard drive in the middle, but a great jab in there. Danielle O'Brien pokes it loose. Sarantino on the backpedaling Farina, fires it up, no good. Berry snatching the rebound out to Danielle O'Brien, fires for three. That one rims out. And Jashari Green rips down the rebound. Frantic sequence there. Beacons now trailing by 11. 8 minutes to make it up. Looking for their first consecutive win of the season. They're 3-7, 2-2 in conference play, trying to move into the top tier of the conference. Olivier fires. Oh, Jashari Green coming in like a bowling ball. And the foul assessed to Danielle O'Brien. And so Green draws another foul, earns another chance for the Beacons. Meg Dixon, Sunny Green re-entering the game. Riley Gonzalez, Paige Olivier taking a seat. Julie Keckler bringing some offensive firepower back onto the court for her Warriors as she comes in for Kaya Mayo. Into Jashari. Up and in. Jashari Green, sturdy and active, energetic and skilled on the low block, as she brings the lead back inside of 10. She's got 8 points to lead the Beacons. And a turnover force there, harassing the passer there. Jashari Green going to take over ball handling duties. Remember, Kat Sullivan, despite playing just 6 minutes, has picked up 4 fouls and has spent most of the game on the bench. Monesteem drives, and another foul there. This one's going to yield free throws for Vienna Monesteem. It is the 3rd foul of the first 3 minutes called on the Warriors. And if UMass Boston gets themselves into the bonus here, it'll be an interesting opportunity for them. When the players retake the floor, Vienna Monesteem, who's 5 of 11 from the charity stripe this season, will have herself a pair of free throws. The team as a whole is shooting, if we can take a look at the stats here, the team on the whole is shooting 63% from the charity stripe. They have tried one this game. It was Monesteem's, and it caromed off the rim. 5 of 8 is the tally on the opposite side of the scoreboard here, and what has been an advantage for WestCon. WestCon still holding an advantage in the shot attempts category. And now Vienna Monesteem can try to close the gap a little bit more. This is by no means a foregone conclusion here. UMass Boston has the offensive firepower to get back in this game, and you have to be looking at Meg Dixon. Paige Olivier, we saw an 18-point showing for her in her opening game on the Harbor campus against Plymouth State 2 weeks ago. It looked great. But with her, it's a little bit trickier to tell what her long-term sustainable level of offensive contribution will be. With Meg Dixon, a player who had not played since December of 2018 due to a compound tear at ACL, MCL, meniscus, completely shredded her knee in that game. Didn't always know if she was going to come back, gradually convinced herself after throwing out all her basketball gear that she wanted to come back as Monesteem knocks down the free throw. And at the start of this season, a season in which head coach Heather Jacobs mentioned that her resume is not equivalent to her resident status because of the time she had missed, has had the best case scenario play out, which is that statement has been proven increasingly dated. Dixon 2nd in the conference in scoring, 4th in rebounding, but we have not seen the star that she has become out there on the floor today. There's still time. 7 minutes to go. Offensive rebound for the Warriors. We move inside of 7 minutes, and the lead is still at 8. Julie Keckler driving into the lane. Strong move right to the front. For UMass Boston, the season low in points is 37. Came against Rhode Island College in a game where they were annihilated by 25 points. That was about a month ago. Anna Berry in transition, off the feed, off the lead, 12-point lead for the Warriors. And if UMass Boston isn't careful, this game's going to slip away from them by the halfway point of the quarter. Farina, Monesteem in the post. Scoop shot. Oh, what a shot. Vienna Monesteem finding room around the defender. She's got 9 points to lead the Beacons. Jashari Green contributing 8. Ryla Gonzalez with 7, although she hasn't scored in a little while. Danielle O'Brien over the top. Berry loses the handle. Anna Berry in a lot of ways has shown excellent hands here, capable of catching these balls fired over her head, keeping the handle when she has to put the ball on the floor a little bit trickier, particularly given that the Beacons will swarm her. They have doubled her at different points in the game. Monesteem driving left now. Over the shoulder move. Didn't really have enough mustard on it to get it up to the rim. And with the lead still at 10, 5:25 remaining here. Beacons entering a soft full court press. 10 seconds to get the ball over the timeline, and the Warriors do with a few seconds to spare. They're doubling at the point of attack now. Swung to the corner. Ball's poked loose. 8 seconds to shoot now. Dixon guarding Berry. Into the middle and one. Hannah Berry with some hugs from the teammates. And she has come on very nicely in the second half. 17 points now on 50% shooting from the floor. A double-double to boot, with a couple of blocks to her name. And for the player whose greatest glories have come on the volleyball side for ECSU, contributing in droves to the basketball team effort this season. A team that's second in the conference and hungry. 13-point lead, largest of the game for the Warriors. Montestein looking for Dixon, finds her, three-pointer. No good. The lid on the rim will not yield for Meg Dixon. Kaya Mayo driving, hit from behind. Jashari Green will be tagged with that one. Sunny Green out there with 4 fouls. Kat Sullivan still on the bench with 4 fouls. For Jashari Green, that's number 3. Second of the quarter for the Beacons. The foul drawing on the Warriors has come to a halt, with the Warriors still outside the bonus. 4 minutes and change remaining. Julie Keckler driving, tough shot, no good. Dixon seals for the rebound. Great pass up ahead to Montestein. She's got Berry to beat. Goes across the lane. Vienna Montestein, no good. Jashari Green with a rebound. And a little too physical on the clear out there. 4th foul on Jashari Green. And in very short order, the Beacons being depleted of the players they would need to mount a comeback. 2 players out there with 4 fouls now. Jashari Green, Sunny Green, no relation. They've got to play stingy defense here, and they've got to do it without fouling. Jashari Green still marking Julie Keckler. And that will be it for her. The body bump on the drive. And we have seen the last of Jashari Green. Goes from 2 fouls to 5 in just a few short minutes. And Heather Jacobs has got some decisions to make. Ryla Gonzalez, a likely candidate to take her place. Indeed, that's what's going to happen. This is the age-old question for a lot of coaches, as to what extent do you keep your players out with 4 fouls? At some point, you have to let them go, with the assumption that there's no point in leaving fouls, so to speak, on the table. First free throw down for Keckler, as the game has increasingly crept away from UMass Boston as the 4th quarter has gone on. 13 points in the first, 8 in the second, 8 in the third, just 5 so far in the 4th. 22 turnovers has not made it easy. 15-point lead now. Shovel pass to Dixon. Loses it, has to chase it down. Beacons retain possession, but with 10 seconds left, the whole possession's a scramble. Gonzalez to the cup, no good. And it's going to be UMass Boston's ball with a fresh shot clock. A whistle here. Not entirely sure what that was for. The official signaled something to the table, and nothing appeared to change. The play resumes, and an offensive foul there. Montestein clearing out on the screen. And so, as if they needed another challenge, UMass Boston has put the Warriors in the bonus. All fouls will be free throws from here on out. Dump off pass. And a timeout called here for EastCon. 3 minutes, 5 seconds remaining. The game all but sealed with a 49-34 lead here. It has been a gradual creeping away, or walking away with the lead, I suppose. Anna Berry has hit 4 of her last 5 shots. UMass Boston, just 1 of their last 6 put together. One of 16 from downtown for UMass Boston. And you think even if they can shoot 25% from 3, this is a 2-possession game. They have had some difficult shots. They have had some makeable shots. And Meg Dixon in particular, 1 of 9 from the field, 0 of 6 from downtown. Just about every shot she has taken has been a quality look from downtown. But the basketball gods not forgiving as Sunny Green breaks up the pass. 3 seconds to shoot now. 3 more seconds before a stop can be had. They lob it over the top to Berry. They've run this play a couple of times. Sunny Green, what a defensive stand. The 5'7" sophomore guard has stood very tall in the post. But UMass Boston got to move now. It's a 5-possession game. Farina driving. Dixon flying in for the rebound. She read it the whole way. Fills to the corner. Takes Berry off the dribble. Reverse layup. What a move by Dixon. Meg Dixon with an outstanding possession. Reading the offensive rebound 2 seconds before it happened. And finishing off the play herself. Berry trapped at half court and they break it. EastCon content to hold the ball for a little while. Up by 13, inside of 2 minutes we go. O'Brien pops back 3. No good. Sunny Green on the rebound. Where will UMass Boston go for the desperation offense? Kick back to Farina. They got to get a move on. They got to find something fast. Sunny Green. To the back down. Farina. Run off the line. Comes back out. Ryla Gonzalez. They've got to put up a shot. They have 3 seconds to shoot. It's to Dixon. Fires one up. Impressive that she got it close enough even. And Sunny Green with an overzealous pursuit of the rebound perhaps, and that will be 5 fouls on her. So Sunny Green joins Jashari Green on the bench. Paige Olivier will replace her. And with that stop and the resulting free throws, EastCon has put this game on ice. It'll be a couple of free throws for Julie Keckler. UMass Boston a little bit depleted here. They have fewer players on their roster, period, than EastCon does, although both teams have used about the same number of players in their actual rotation. 50-36. The only thing left for UMass Boston is to avoid a season low here, which they can do with another field goal. But they have all of their pieces out on the floor today, and it has not been the offensive showing they wanted. Modesty misfires from the mid-range. Inside of a minute now. Jenna Sarantino. They're looking for Berry in the post now. Keckler instead. Hops back. 7 seconds to shoot. O'Brien takes the screen from Berry coming across the lane. Into the middle. No good. Barry fighting for the rebound. It comes to Sarantino. Magnets in her hands. And the loose balls have been finding her. She's been finding the loose balls. Keckler drives, dump off pass, and Sarantino misses the layup. UMass Boston going to have one more shot here as Meg Dixon in transition, dump off pass to Monostim. And by the narrowest of margins, the Beacons will avoid their worst offensive showing of the year. But it's still not nearly enough, as the East Con Warriors take care of business in Clark and knock off the Beacons 50-38 behind a strong defensive effort and the strongest of offensive rebounding performances. Leading the way was Anna Berry, 18 points, 10 rebounds. Julie Keckler, 15 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists to add on. For the Beacons, it was Vienna Monostim with her best game of the season, 11 points, 5 of 9 from the floor to go along with 3 rebounds. Jashari Green chipping in 8 points, Ryla Gonzalez with 7, but not enough firepower for the Beacons to overcome the deficit. A couple of quick notes before we sign off. We will be back for the men's game at 3 p.m. Want to give a quick thank you to our team before we sign off here. And before we take you to the men's game, which you can watch more or less the same way you're watching now, you can go to the LEC Network link, find the UMass Boston selection, and see the game listed there. Quick thank you to Seth Orensky, to Jackson Snyder, Georgia Bonney for all of their help putting together this game and making sure the broadcast ran smoothly. Even when the technology was fighting them a little bit, they persevered. They got it on the air. Once again, the final score from Clark Athletic Center. UMass Boston falls to East Con 50-38. We'll be back for the men's game in just a few minutes, so you can head over there if you want some more UMass Boston basketball action. Until then, have a great afternoon, everybody.